Of everything that's changed, let's say in the past year or two, of how we conduct research at Moara, I would say the biggest one is how we use the big LLMs, in particular Claude. Really used to be the case that, like most people, you use a tool like Claude when you have a question or when you're working through maybe a specific problem. Now I really feel like we treat Claude and Claude Cowork and other versions of Claude, as well as ChatGPT in some cases, and Gemini, like an operating system a little bit. And so, in the case of a literature review, we really don't use Claude for one task or the other. Just like almost everything we do, we have Claude constantly running involved in every stage of the process. And I should say, um, what I actually do is use Claude in two different ways throughout the process. And let me tell you more about that. It's more than just putting in a prompt or even multiple prompts and using things that way. You need to use markdown files appropriately. And importantly, you need to split your use of Claude between the actual Claude app and other applications that incorporate Claude. So let me show you what I mean, and this is at least how I think about things, is that you have the Claude, big LLM chat, and you can use Claude for, in this case, I use it for generally getting an overview of the literature on a topic, as I'll get into, finding seminal papers, and then developing search strategies. And then you have more what I'd call vertical applications. These are tools that in this case are more built specifically for research and for handling citations. This is our product, Moara, mother of all research assistants. And what's key is we incorporate Claude throughout. Throughout the product, we have Claude in our library operations, screening, full text review, evidence synthesis, and writing. All of this involves Claude integrations. And then in some cases, you might actually head back to Claude, take your library and feed it back into Claude. But whether it's in research or it's in marketing or it's in finance, you should always strike a balance between the general LLMs and their counterpart vertical applications. Okay, so now I'm in the Claude app. Now look, I've used Claude in ChatGPT and other LLMs a whole lot over the in recent years. And what I'd say is I think I've boiled down how I generally kick off a literature review or research project in Claude to basically three functions and by extension sort of three prompts. The first one is always describing the prior literature on a topic at a high level. This is something that uniquely these tools can do and none others can, unless you have, let's say, a very good up-to-date review paper on a topic. There are no other tools out there that can do this type of really high-level, what you might call synthesis of the literature on a topic. Even some of the more specific vertical apps, any summary they provide or synthesis they provide is going to be over a certain number of papers. Most tools, it'll be, 10 search results and you get a summary. That doesn't actually tell you much. So if you start in Claude or any big LLM, I prefer Claude, is describe at a high level prior literature on this question. Tell me about evolutions in the literature, maybe major changes in the technology, if methodologies are important to you, and the different fields and angles through which it's been studied. So in this case, I'm just, as an example, using the effects of sleep deprivation on cognitive performance. Obviously, you can use economics examples, bioengineering, whatever. And in this case, again, I've looked enough through these outputs with topics that I'm very familiar with, which are generally economics examples related to international trade or price elasticities. And I've reviewed enough of them to know these are pretty good summaries. And again, they cannot be found anywhere else. You should not put them copy and paste into your publication. You should check things, but these are generally pretty good. So you have early foundations, the attention and vigilance tradition, neuroscience and neuroimaging. Again, information like this, starting in the late 1990s and accelerating to the 2000s, neuroimaging really had an impact on the literature. Once again, unless you have a great review paper that's also up to date, very hard to get this type of information. And so this is a great starting point. Why it's so important in my view is that you establish this high level understanding, at least roughly, in every single paper you read as part of your review. When you're actually doing screening and full text reviews, it will resonate better. It will stick into this timeline in your mind better, in my view. The next task I'm always looking to Claude for is, we know that the big LLMs are not good at giving you 100 papers, or for that matter, thousands of citations. Even when you get into, say, 20 or 30 papers, these models do pretty well. But what is most reliable, and I think the best use case here when it comes to sourcing papers, is give me 3 to 5 seminal papers on my topic. Include links to those studies. You want to include links so that you can quickly check and make sure that these are real citations. They should be. Again, I've used this prompt enough to know these are going to be pretty darn accurate, but just in case I want to check effects of sleep deprivation on performance, a meta-analysis, I can go ahead and open that link and make sure I'm using the right. And as you can see, it reconciles. So I'll reiterate something. You don't really have any other tools that can specifically surface seminal papers this quickly. Google Scholar, Web of Science, Scopus, you really got to pour through them, and seminal papers aren't always up front. Maybe that's because they're not always the most relevant titles or abstracts, but I really feel like if you're diving into a big literature review project, it's great to have a handle on seminal papers. And this is, I think, an area in which I differ with others that are in my industry, which is that everyone's always trying to talk about how to rush through a literature review. I don't really, we've had sort of some people talk about our product in that sense in the past, but I really don't subscribe to that view. I believe literature reviews and getting a handle on prior literature is not something you should rush through. It is incredibly important. So it's not a checkbox exercise. Read the seminal papers, maybe even before you read more relevant, more up-to-date papers. That's my view. And then the third way in which I recommend using a big LLM is to then specifically come up with a search strategy. So look, I've gone through some testing on this topic. I have looked at what a human-generated search strategy is, even in a systematic review context where there's Boolean operators and multiple queries. I've looked at and tested human-generated ones versus LLM-generated search strategies. It seems to me the LLM-generated search strategies perform better in most to all cases. And so it is my view, and I don't say this lightly, that when it comes to developing a search strategy, that should be a very technology-enabled part of your process. And that's when it comes to systematic reviews. When it comes to, say, narrative reviews, where you're searching Google Scholar or another tool using keyword combinations, then generally there's no search strategy at all. So I do think it's helpful to, in either context, no matter what type of review you're working on, use something like Claude to develop your search strategy, if nothing else, so that it's written down. You have it documented somewhere. You can compare it against other queries, whatever. So in this case, 3 to 5 keyword combinations for Google Scholar. We can see these are pretty good, and they even go through, what you should quote and what you shouldn't. You can bounce through all of these subjects. Or alternatively, maybe you do have a big systematic review or a semi-systematic review you're working on. You can similarly get a PubMed search strategy. And I've tested these before. Generally, these are really solid inputs. You can plug them right in and get the PubMed results, maybe with a little bit of finessing when it comes to adding queries one by one, or maybe you can do this full search rate. You'll have to test it out. But the point is, those are the 3 best use cases in my view. I'll reiterate: high-level understanding of the literature, top seminal papers, and developing a search strategy, especially in those top 2, but even for the third one, you don't really have any other technologies that are going to do those 3 things reliably. So this is a great place to start. Okay, so we've gone through literature overview, seminal papers, search strategy. Now we're going to jump into, in this case, Moara, but it could be any tool that has significant Claude integrations for actually building a library of citations, 50, 100, 1,000 citations, going through screening and having that dedicated interface for screening, full text review, evidence synthesis, and actually going through writing. I won't cover every aspect of this, but what I will cover, at least on our site, is how we use Claude integrations to enable researchers to do all sorts of really exciting things. So what I'm first going to cover in more is actually building your library and cleaning some of the metadata. You've got different options when you land on a new library, and more you can import, integrate with Zotero, Google Scholar, Semantic Scholar. Once again, I'm just going to focus on the Claude integrations primarily. Here's where we actually have an AI search engine. It's in beta, but in my view, it works very well. And you get actual real citations that you can rely on. And so what this allows us to do is actually, because we've got Claude integrated right here on the site, we don't have to take our search query and package it up into the either keyword combination or query structure of a typical search engine. Instead, we can use natural language, of course. I'm just going to write, what are the effects of, I had this copied, so sleep deprivation on cognitive performance, and I can search here. As we can see, this starts to generate, I think it takes maybe 15, 20 seconds, starts to generate the actual search strategy that it will go through. If this is important to you, I highly recommend actually reading through it in full. This will generate a strategy. I will get usually around a dozen results in response. And very importantly, I'll just mention this without demoing it. If the results are not what you expected, then you can always iterate, right? You can say, no, something like, these are not good, instead focus more on XYZ. And so that's what's really great about integrating Claude into this, is that it's one of the few platforms that allow you to do iterative search. And if you want, you can even say, come at this from a different angle. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and just take, these look pretty good. I'm going to take the 15 I've got in bulk, add them all to my library. And then, in some videos I would skip over this process, but what I'll say here is, I'll just show you because hopefully everyone will get a chance to use this. Right now, these are all enrichments running. So it's what we call enrichments. This is when you add yet another Claude integration, when you add papers from, a citation file, from Google Scholar, from AI search, whatever. You're almost always dealing with incomplete citation data. And so what we have is models that go out and find that data. I've mentioned this many times before, but we've got a proprietary DOI finder going out and finding digital object identifier, checking that against Crossref, OpenAlex, Semantic Scholar, and then finally falling back to Claude. And why that Claude sort of agentic modeling works, meaning if you don't have a DOI, it goes out and finds the abstract of a paper for you online. And why that's so important is if you have gray literature, working papers without DOIs, that Claude integration is how we can actually still populate that citation data. So really, really helpful if you're dealing with a lot of gray literature. We've got DOIs in this case that were captured from AI search. And one more thing happening in the background is you've got a deduplication process going on, whether you're bringing papers in from via PDFs or AI search, Google Scholar results, all of it gets deduplicated, not just exact title matches, but other fields being compared as well. And so finally, there are, yet again with Claude, some AI generated enrichments I can add here. So we've got our enrichments. We can create custom enrichments, including maybe include, exclude criteria if I want to establish some, prompt it well, establish some criteria, include, exclude, unsure. This is a way to do custom screening on the fly. Alternatively, you could also not use custom enrichment, but use maybe one of the, I think, 65 enrichment menu options we have here. Really good example. Yes, you have some cross-ref fields, libkey, retraction notices, etc. But good example is just main findings. And so you add this column, all the enrichments populate, pulling from either title, abstract, or full text, grabbing the main findings of each paper using Claude, OpenAI, Gemini, depending on your selection on the back end. So we could see those filling in. So now you've got a very clean, complete, comprehensive library to work off of, and it's thanks in part to several different Claude integrations. Okay, so we've covered building a strong library, comprehensive library. Also covered a little bit about screening. There is indeed a screening tool within Moara, and let me just add that so you can see it. And then I want to add something else importantly as well called the synthesis report. We'll get into some other things, but right now, if we go to the toolbox, you can see, like I said, there is a title and abstract screening page, really straightforward, just a place where you can mark high, medium, low priority, assign tasks to folks, tags, notes. You can do all of that within the library as well. So we mentioned the screening of the type where you have maybe custom include, exclude criteria in enrichments, but you can also even more simply just mark priority levels here. So that's screening. Now, in terms of what I'll call synthesis, maybe you might call it evidence synthesis, there are really two Claude integrations driving this. The first is very simple, and it's synthesis, but it's also some other things, and that's just library chat. Within library chat, which is powered by Claude, this is very simply a way to use Claude as a synthesis tool across your library without needing users to download their libraries and paste them into Claude every time they want to use them. And then if you add a couple papers to your library, you got to repaste it, go back and forth, etc. We've just got Claude integrated right here. Pretty straightforward. Every single prompt also includes your library data. And so I can ask questions like, what are the top methodologies used across my library. And indeed, again, your papers are in short being plugged in here, and you're getting a response on what the top methodologies are. I could alternatively, something I think is a nice illustration of how creative you can get with this is something along the lines of, are there any, if my research topic is the effects of sleep deprivation on cognitive abilities, you can ask a question like, are there any papers that are not very relevant? And indeed, no matter what search engine you're using, something might have been caught that's not super relevant. Usually you get a couple results here. Actually, it looks like in this case, all are directly relevant, so that's encouraging. But oftentimes you might get a couple that aren't if you import a bunch of citations, or you could also ask a question that says, based on your general knowledge, because we still have the Claude kind of general corpus of knowledge here, are there any major areas or angles to this question that I'm missing? And you might get a good response there. So that is how to do, let's call it evidence synthesis, sort of an audit of your library as well. And then the other way to do evidence synthesis is a little more straightforward. Within tools, our synthesis report, I'm going to run this. Again, I want to be transparent here. Even for 15 papers only, generally takes 20 seconds, 15 or 20 seconds. So I'm just going to let this run. But I'll give you a spoiler alert. There it is. You get this, and you have a nice section, top methodologies with some bullet points, top findings, bullet points, top gaps in literature with some bullet points. Each one of them has a sources cited under the section as well. So those are, and as I should have mentioned, and as you could probably guess, this is also a Claude integration. I mean, we are really aggressively integrating Claude wherever it's useful because it's a great tool. We love it. And the Anthropic API is very simple to use. And maybe one more just to mention briefly, this is a bit of a work in progress. We're still what we call hardening this tool. But within tools, you have AI writing. AI writing allows you to do a lot of things. Let's see if I can kind of demo it cleanly here. We have a lot of beta testers trying out this product right now. Maybe I'll first just say literature overview. And then perhaps under literature overview, I will ask AI, which also calls Claude, and say something like, provide 3 sentences to describe at a high level my library. You can say any number of things here, but let's start there. And what you should get in response is some suggestions. You can either accept or reject or ask it to try again. I'm just going to discard it here. And then also you can do other things like you can call a citation at this stage. Okay, so we've got our citation, automatic generation of references, and then you should be able to get, in many cases, some suggested autocomplete. And what I'm going to do here is you can accept it if you want, or you can reject it. If you do have a paragraph you really like, you can also using Claude. Again, that's not our only, but definitely our largest provider of kind of LLM functionality. The benefit also being that we are not using any user data to train any of these models. It's just kind of a API we use. And in this case, I can highlight some text, I can ask AI, and I can have that peer reviewed. So if you have a full section, you might want to get a couple comments on it. You can peer review using a Claude plugin. That is the full process. You've got Claude to start off for high-level description of literature, prior literature on a topic. You've got it for identifying seminal papers and linking to those, and then you've got it for developing a search strategy. After that, when it comes to the really ground and pound stuff, managing your library, screening, full-text reviews, evidence synthesis, writing, all or a lot of that can happen inside of Moara, which, of course, leverages Claude in the back end. So if you find that interesting, feel free to try out Moara, moara.io, free to start. And if you want to get more videos, we're just kind of getting our YouTube channel started, but feel free to subscribe. So really appreciate the time. Hope everyone's having a great day.